Hello, I'm Helene Oberman, Managing Director of Interior Design Magazine, and I like to welcome you. For 30 years, Coverings has been the preeminent event for the ceramic tile and natural stone industry right here in North America. The show offers insight into the best new product introductions, allows one to connect with suppliers from around the globe, and is an endless discovery of groundbreaking techniques, tips, and tricks of the trade. With me today to give an insider look of those top tile trends one will be seeing at Coverings 2021 is interior designer, certified master kitchen and bath designer, and Coverings industry ambassador, Elena Capra. Welcome, Elena. It's so good to see you.
Thank you, Helene. I'm excited to be here to share the top tile trends and a little bit more about Coverings 2021.
Well, perfect. Well, let's get started. Can you tell us a little bit about Coverings and what one should expect to see at the show this year?
Absolutely. So Coverings is the largest showcase of tile and stone in North America and will be this July 7th through 9th at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. And of course, there are countless things to do aside from just see tile trends. There's great installations and applications of tile, as well as demos, and of course, free CEUs and networking and a chance to reconnect with peers. So there's so much to see there. And I do just want to let you know that all of the tile trends we are going to be talking about today and all the the tile on display was brought to you by three of the show owners of Coverings. They will be coming from Tile Council of North America, Ceramics of Italy, and Tile of Spain.
Well, that's great. And I do know during this time period that everyone is really craving to connect. So obviously it's a really great opportunity. And I know everyone out there is just dying to hear about those tile trends, but actually first, Elena, can you tell us a little bit about the benefits of tile and really why is it such a diverse material that interior designers, architects, and installers really love to use it and incorporate it into their projects?
Absolutely. So tile is very versatile. It is a great versatile product for both indoor and outdoor use, of course, on flat, horizontal, curved surfaces. So there's a lot of applications for tile, as well as it being very low maintenance. Unlike many other materials we can use, tile requires little to no maintenance. It's scratch resistant. It is heat resistant. It will not, it is resistant to fire as well. And of course, there is a lot of other great things. It's a healthy product as well. No VOCs in the process. And of course, grouts and adhesives are also available with no VOCs. So very healthy, very beautiful, lots of great things, and also low maintenance.
So speaking of beautiful tile designs, let's get into some of those exciting trends that ones will be seeing at Coverings 2021. Very first trend I like to say is a modern twist on the time-tested tradition of terrazzo.
Yes, it is. And it is one of my favorites. And that is our flecked effect trend. So I've got a couple of samples here around, and it's basically a kaleidoscope of color of fragmented shapes, but on a beautiful porcelain tile. And of course, as you see, on really large size tile as well. So this particular pattern really shines when it is on a very large scale tile because the minimal grout joints really let the pattern itself shine. Over here is on a 36 by 36, so you really get to enjoy that flecked pattern. And of course, you could see the variety of different colors it also can be available in. Just a really fun trend. And again, on larger scale tile, it really, really looks amazing.
So I do know some of those larger sizes we'll talk about very shortly. We really want to get into this next trend, which is color is in. And we've definitely been seeing a rise of color, especially in kitchens and bathrooms. And one color that keeps on growing is green.
Yes, I love color, and on tile, we haven't seen a lot of green in a while. So it's a really exciting trend. And of course, just that sort of that connection for nature that design is really going into. And we're going to see a little bit of the biophilia trend in a moment too. But green is the color, and everything from more saturated emerald greens to sort of everything in between and softer mints and even sages. We're seeing just a variety of different hues of this beautiful color. And on a glossy finish, as well as something here a little bit more matte with a slight bit of texture. And trends are going to overlap as you see as we go through. So this is a little bit of flecked effect, but also in the mint green. So you could do it everything from a brick to larger scale, larger format porcelain, and fun shapes. Really have fun with color and a little color with some pattern.
Well, I do love green too, and I really do like to say that it has become almost a new neutral in a way.
I agree with you, absolutely.
So this next trend is really all about making an impact in an understated way.
Yes. So our next trend really focuses on the 3D, but in a softer way, and that is soft textures. So it is a great way to really highlight texture, of course, and the 3D really allows that to pop. But as you see, the softer muted tones and backgrounds of the tile doesn't make it so bold, but just a really nice soft look. So over here, this has almost the look of a 3D on a concrete, very great geometric pattern. We're seeing more linear stuff, but again, you notice the very soft lines. And of course here a little bit crisper, but the feel is neutral grounds, nice 3D effect, and of course, just a very, very soft texture.
Well, I really think it also kind of plays into this other trend that I know we'll also be speaking about later, which is muted tones, but this idea of serenity and sanctuary that people are now trying to capture in a lot of their spaces, especially things like kitchens and bathrooms.
Absolutely. It's really the underlying theme. You're going to see a lot of that throughout all of these trends. And of course, we've seen it in design as a whole from all of the different materials that we use. So, of course, tile being one to fit in with that overall trend. And I love it. And our next trend, though, amps it up just a little bit, and that is with a high gloss finish. So, we're also seeing the return to some shine. And we've got a lot of great things over here. These are a little bit of a smaller sample, but again, we're talking about green tones, how some of these overlap. High shine on everything from bricks and smaller tiles, like a great backsplash, as well as to shower walls, floors, in commercial spaces and lobbies as well. So that beautiful shine on tile, everything from small to large format, and of course in the stone looks as well as we have here.
Well, I think with the shine, I mean, I do know over the last few years, we've seen the increase in matte. So it's nice that that shine's coming back and that it almost has a little bit of that play of what we were talking about, in previous years about that maximalista kind of look. And it definitely, that high gloss adds to that effect. But that
Definitely.
actually, the last tile you just had shown us goes and I think really plays well into sort of our next trend, which I think is really about taking the best of Mother Nature and taking her to the next level. Well, Elena, it looks like you have that really nice, great natural stone looking in vein right in front of you.
Absolutely. So our next trend in Vein is all about bringing out that look of the marble on porcelain with the very striking vein looks. And as you can see, we've got a variety. We've got more of this sort of warmer veining, the mix of the warmer tones in the gray, which is definitely emerging. And of course, this typical almost Calcutta type of look that we're seeing as well. And the in vein trend is on everything from large format tile to the gauge porcelain panels and slabs. So we're going 4 feet by 8 feet, 5 feet by 10 feet, really book matching, doing continuous vein patterns with them. And of course, because it is a porcelain tile, it has all the great properties of tile, scratch resistant, stain resistant, low maintenance as well.
And makes it that much more accessible, I think, to a wider consumer audience.
Yes, that is definitely for sure, because it can pretty much go in every type of space.
So, well, for this next trend, it really is about the old saying that bigger is better, and especially when it comes to tile. And I think this year we're going to see it to the extreme.
For sure. Definitely over the years, we've seen the gauge porcelain panels just get bigger and bigger, and of course, in a variety of thicknesses as well. So, our double XL trend, I've got two great examples here. This one is, again, just a small sample of a very big piece. So, this sort of kind of gives the look of almost an onyx. And then, of course, here talking about our green trend, this brings in some gorgeous hues of green for a natural stone look. And we are also seeing these larger double XL slabs being used for countertops in the 12 millimeter thickness. So we have a variety of applications. We could bring this in from cladding to countertops to walls, floors, furniture, and beyond.
Incredible. Well, especially for those people that don't like those grout lines in the middle of their countertops, it works out.
Bigger is always better for that.
Yeah. So given this time period where we've been spending that much more time indoors, this next trend focused on the natural world seems more important than ever.
Definitely, the biophilia trend is huge in design right now, as you know, and we are really just yearning for that connection to nature and bringing it in our homes and beyond. So, over here, a lot of the looks we're seeing are these very natural wood grain looks on porcelain. Wood porcelain has been a huge trend for years, but it's constantly changing sort of the species and finish and everything plank width. So, right now, this is a great sampling of sort of the tones of wood, this very soft, natural look, and I love this one over here, sort of has a mix of tones, very linear and soft. And these are great looks for walls, floors, and again, beyond. Really a great application and a great way to bring nature in to the home. And of course, these are some of my favorites. I got a little sample of that here. The sort of look of beautiful botanicals and plants and everything like that. I think we've seen some florals trending before, but now this whole biophilia trend is really all encompassing with all things nature and promoting general well-being.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the idea of health and wellness in our spaces really has come to the forefront over the last year. And, it's interesting because I think we've been seeing it on the commercial side, but even more so of how it's being incorporated on the residential side and how people want to create these sort of safe havens in their spaces. And obviously in their homes. And I have to say that wood is definitely like what you were talking about with In Vain, which is have something that much more durable in ceramic or porcelain tile versus having the real thing.
That is a great point. It's all about that durability. So this can go in high traffic areas and even in wet areas. So you could have a wood look in your shower and it doesn't necessarily need to be teak.
So Elena, that was a great look at these latest three trends, but let's move on to the next and last three. This next grouping looks great. And you know what? For this next trend, it's all about tile getting hip with hexes.
That is right. So we have seen the hexagon tile trend trending heavily for the last few years, but it's completely changing and changing and reinventing itself over and over again. And now we are really in this large hex up to 24 by 24 inches. We're seeing these very large, oversized hexes, which are great for just about any application. And you are seeing our in vein trend repeat itself here. They definitely tend to overlap, but it's a great shape. Everything from large to more sort of in between sizes. This is a great size for a nice flooring as well, and greens and a little bit of blue. So it's a little bit of these great tonality and of course a little pop of color. And the shape is really what it's all about in this trend.
So also with tile, we found that it could be quite the chameleon. And one look that seems to always be in is the concrete look, but it actually has a new tape with some pattern.
Yes, the pattern tile on concrete lookalikes is our next trend, and that is all of that you're seeing here. This is just a little sampling. There are so many great patterns that could be mixed and matched into many different applications and many different looks. The design possibilities really are endless when you're sort of working with this. And as you can see, color. We're seeing some color, but we're also seeing it on more of the muted tones. So you've got a lot of options in terms of what you're working with, geometric patterns. And this one's really fun because it brings in a couple of our trends. We've got our FLECKED effect, and we've also got our in vein, and of course, gorgeous greens. This is like an all-in-one unpatterned concrete look. And of course, durable because it is a porcelain tile.
So somebody that really wants that concrete look, but obviously wants something that lasts a lot longer, would actually specify some of these really beautiful concrete tiles.
For sure. Easy to maintain, not going to scratch or stain. So this gives you that look with that low maintenance.
So I know we spoke a little bit earlier about those softer textures, but I think this last trend also feels a little bit in the same family about channeling that serenity that people really crave right now in all of their spaces, whether they live, work, or play.
Helene, you are so right. It is all about these muted tones and the connection of just that serenity and calmness. And that is our last trend here. And as you can see, some soft blues, blue greens. What is so great about this trend? This works so well on smaller scale tile. It works well on all tile, but we're seeing it a lot on the mosaics, on the smaller bricks like this. Really great ways to bring that in, whether it's on a shower floor, in a backsplash, on an accent wall. And the penny tile, this is one of my favorites. I love the way the color just really pops on there. And here again on a brick tile, also really nice. So these muted tones definitely carry our underlying theme and also allow for a really great way to infuse a soft and calming color into your designs.
Well, something that we've really seen throughout most of these trends is really this idea of well-being. And I know this last trend really captures this idea of sanctuary that one can capture in their space by using these muted tones.
It really does. We've had this great underlying theme with the calming colors, the soft textures, the biophilia and connection to nature, and of course, so many other things, but really a great underlying theme and so fitting for this year.
So there is definitely so much to choose from. And I think there's certainly something for every designer and their project needs at Coverings this year.
There surely is. This is just a small sampling. Again, all of these tile samples that we've looked at today are provided by three of the show's owners, Ceramics of Italy, Tile of Spain, and the Tile Council of North America. And they will have so much more on display for you to see. You'll see a lot of these trends, lots of different varieties and miles of tile throughout at the show. But of course, there's so much more to it than just the tile on display. There's lots of free educational opportunities and CEUs, and of course, great applications and installations of tile to keep you inspired, as well as demonstrations. And of course, a chance to reconnect with your peers and network.
Well, it's really great. And I think we have to reiterate to everyone out there that Coverings is happening live and in person in July in Orlando. And of course, something that's really great for all the designers out there about the complimentary registration.
Yes, it will be open July 7th through 9th at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando in the North Hall. And of course, like we mentioned, registration is complimentary, it is free, and it is open now on coverings.com.
Everyone should go to some of those social media channels to find out more about the show. And of course, to check out some of these beautiful top tile trends that we discussed today.
Helene, thank you so much for having me here to share just a little bit of the tile trends that will be available at this Coverings in July.
Oh, and let's not forget, there's some beautiful mosaic art installations as well that one can see in Orlando this year.
It's a great way to keep you inspired with all things tile.
So Elena, thank you so much for your time and for your insight and really an insider look at some of these really great trends that people will be seeing at Coverings this year. And of course, to our audience, please make sure to check out coverings.com to learn about the free registration and of course, about more of these tile trends. See you in Orlando.